with Scott Wietecha, talking to him about hockey in general. The first thing I want us to do is congratulate you on being with the Royals and having a great year so far, and also on being the student athlete that you are, being on the Dean's Academic Award at Ferris.
Yep.
Talk a little bit about that.
Talk about the
academic
side of being like a student athlete.
Yeah, hockey players are dedicated, determined individuals.
Yeah,
you especially.
Yeah, well, I graduated 2 years ago from Ferris, but like academic wise, like succeeding in the classroom is a part of the culture at Ferris. So like if you had 25 or 27, 28 guys that had a 3.0 or better, so it was just kind of, you learn from the older guys that were there when you're a freshman and they were seniors, and you look up to them and see what they do.
It's just part of the culture?
Yeah. I think everyone there is pretty blue collar and works as hard as they can all the time in the classroom and on the ice.
Hard work seems to be a prevalent trait for hockey players in general, particularly at this level. You don't get to this level without having worked hard. Is that something that's instilled in you right from the beginning?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know, I see my parents and how much they work and how hard they work and the sacrifices they make for my brother and I, and for things that they like to do. So I think that's a pretty good example for me, and realizing that it's the little things that are going to separate you from another guy.
Okay. Now this is a weird year with everything that's going on with the NHL contract and all the stuff that flows downhill from there. Absent that NHL contract, you'd probably be up in the AHL, at least working your way in there. How do you see that this year?
You know, it makes the competition a lot harder, and it creates a better product at the American League level and at the East Coast level. But there's a lot of guys. So you got to just control what you can control and just show up to the rink every day and work hard.
Okay. And there's also less jobs, less chance of moving up and even getting a tryout up at the upper level because there's less injuries taking place, with just less games being played.
Well, yeah, there is no NHL, so there's no games being played up there. But in Hershey, there are guys that probably would be in Washington, and then same with here. There are probably guys here that would be in Hershey. But you know, it's the same thing though. No one can really control it, so you just have to show up to work every day.
Okay. Talking about showing up for work every day, I want to talk to you about a couple of plays that have been distinctive over the past week. Saturday night, there's a time when in the middle of the second period, though, even though we were up, the goalie's caught out of the crease making a save. The puck works its way back into the crease, and you make what should be a save, pulling it right out of the crease and shooting it down the ice. Talk a little bit about that play.
Yeah, you know, that's just you react. You know, you just react when the play happens. And say Saturday night, so that was Andy. Say Andy made a save, and maybe something happened, he couldn't get back to the crease in time. I'm not 100% sure if I remember the play, but the first instinct as a defenseman is to take a guy and make sure you have a guy and you can move him out of the way, and then your second instinct is just to react. You know, so you want to think defense first, and if you can get a stick on a loose puck, you put it in the corner.
Yeah, so often in those circumstances when the puck's loose in the crease like that and the goalie's not around, it results in a score by the other team, just almost by accident. They just sort of shepherd it into the net.
Yeah. Sometimes
even your own defenseman puts it in the net. So it's a great play. Another great play was on Sunday. I noticed one time, I think it was on the penalty kill, you're over against the boards trying to have a board battle. You lose your stick, the puck comes over towards you, you just hand pass it out of the way.
Yeah, I mean, well, you can
from flat on the ice, by the way.
Well, you can make a hand pass in the D zone, so that's something that's instinctual again. But when you're on the kill, you just want to move pucks and get it out of the zone and regroup again, and then try to pressure them as much as possible.
Okay, going back to the game in general, what do you think about what I would call the non-score sheet stats, the scoring chances, hits, block shots, face-off wins? Are those important to you guys in the locker room?
Yeah, they're definitely important to us as a team, and to individuals. It's something you can take pride in. You know, a block shot really gets the boys going on the bench. You know, you big block shot on PK and all the guys in the bench are yelling, or like a key face-off win in our own zone late in the game. Those things are something you can take pride in, and we do it as teams.
There are some real gritty players on the Royals this year that take pride in those things. I know Ian O'Connor, Ethan Cox, Kirk McDonald. They're all the kind of gritty player that will do what it takes, all the little things to make things work that way. Even if they're maybe not the most gifted players in the world, they give it 100% effort in all aspects of it. Yeah, that's good to see.
Well, yeah, and especially with those guys, when they do have the skill and they're willing to sacrifice their bodies, it definitely makes for a good player. And you need those kind of players on the team. You know, if you have all the guys buying in and doing the hard things and doing the little things, then you're going to have success.
What do you think of all the arena rock stuff and all the show stuff that goes on with professional hockey as compared to what goes on at the scholastic level?
Well, to tell you the truth, you don't really realize it when you're in the game. You're so focused on what's going to happen, and even at face-offs, you're anticipating. Say we win the draw, what are we going to do? If we lose the draw, what's my responsibility defensively? But I mean, you notice it like a TV timeout or places like that at intermission, before and after.
So these songs from before you were born they're just background noise to you?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, some of the times I recognize a song. Like my family grew up listening to
from
music
listening to your grandparents play it.
Yeah, pretty much driving up north and hearing my grandma rocking Elvis and stuff like that, classic rock.
Okay. What do you do to psych up for a game? Different players in different sports have to prepare mentally to be on the ice, to be on the field in football or on the court in basketball. They got to get their head in the right place. How do you do that?
Well, a lot of guys have superstitions. I put their gear on one way or put their tape a different way on their stick. But I don't really do that, just because if something were to go wrong, then all your superstitions are messed up, and then maybe you don't have the right mindset for that game. So I just kind of like to stay focused mentally and do a visual preparation, like visualize myself like making successful plays on the ice.
In game you go through game conditions in your
game
head
situation,
and say, this is what I'm going to do in this circumstance.
Yeah, I don't get too carried away with it, but just a couple here and there, just to get myself ready for the game.
Okay. A couple of side light type of things. You can tell. Some people say you can tell about a person by what kind of car they drive. But I'm going to take that into two parts. What kind of car do you drive?
Jeep Grand Cherokee.
And what kind of car would you drive if money weren't an object?
I don't know.
Make you agree? Jeep Grand Cherokee is still a good answer.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. What kind of shoes do you wear?
Kind of a lot of shoes. Right now I have Pumas on, but I don't know, kind of a shoe buff. Got a lot.
You got a lot?
Yeah.
A lot of athletic shoes or dress shoes or?
A lot of everything.
Because you were a finance major, right?
Yeah.
Now you got to dress the part if you're going to work in the world of finance, right?
Yeah. Well, and you got to dress the part if you're a hockey player too. You can't show up to the game with dirty shoes on. So.